Hello, everybody, and welcome to GravityKit Live. It's our monthly call where we are live, answering any questions that you have and demonstrating some of what you can do with GravityKit. I'm Zack, founder of GravityKit.
Hi, everyone. I'm Casey, the marketing coordinator here at GravityKit.
Yeah, and we've got some cool stuff to show you. And also, I wanted to let anybody know who's out there and going to WordCamp US. I'm going to WordCamp US. So I'll be there the week of the 16th through the 20th in Portland, Oregon. And so if you're there, please say hi. This is what I look like. I promise I am not too scary in person. So come say hi. I'd love to meet you. And let's chat. I love talking about movies and coffee and WordPressy stuff like GravityKit. So please come say hi.
Yeah, and what date is WordCamp US, Zach?
So WordCamp US is like midweek this time, which is pretty unusual. I think there's like Contributor Day on the 17th of September, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't even know. I'll be arriving on Tuesday, so that's don't try to see me before then if you're there.
Yeah, sounds cool. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Ken's in the chat. Hi, Ken. So I wanted to, if anybody's watching live, please communicate in the chat. We will see what you have to say, and we can also highlight your comments, and we will answer any questions that you have while we talk and while we share what we're working on. So please say hello. And unfortunately, Ken is not going to make it to WordCamp this year. That's too bad. It was so nice seeing him the other time. All right. So Casey, what do we got to show this GravityKit live? Do we have any product updates?
Yeah, we've got a few product updates to go over. I'm also going to go over one of the kind of more underutilized features in GravityView that I think is really powerful and I want to highlight. But yeah, before I get started, just like Zach said, please leave your questions. You can post questions at any time and we'll do our best to answer them. So yeah, before I get into the GravityKit stuff, I thought it might be cool to highlight the Gravity Forms 2.9 beta. So Gravity Forms have just released a new beta version, and it's available to test if you have a Gravity Forms license. And there's some really cool new features here. So they've got this nice blog post on their website, and you can check it out. There's also a nice video here with Matt Medeiros guiding you through all the updates. But some notable features here, they've introduced a new image choices field for the form. And this is really nice if you want to have like product images, for example, in your form, or you just want to have more dynamic select fields. So that's really cool. And then let's see, they've got a new multiple choice field, which is, as they say, like a hybrid between the checkboxes and the radio buttons field. So you can actually specify a range of options that you want users to select. So for example, users would have to select between 2 and 5 different options, for example, and there's different ways you can configure that.
And this also fixes one of the long-time annoyances with the select field or the radio buttons field, where if you add different choices or you remove them, it can screw up the mapping, and that can affect GravityView if you want to search for things that don't exist anymore. They fixed that. So the multiple choices field is going to be transformative for the ability to manipulate, to change their field after you set up your form. It will no longer break if you add or remove fields. So that's really great.
Right. Yeah. Great point. And then there's a bunch of other cool stuff. They've done a little update to the form editors, just a cosmetic update, bringing their orbital theme in there. So it's got a nice little facelift, I guess. Some accessibility improvements. And then there's a bunch of other updates that they've made too. I saw one here that I thought was interesting, which is the ability to import images into the media library when forms are imported. And there's a bunch of other updates here too. So
yeah, that makes sense, I guess. With the image choices, I guess you have to have a way to import the images.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to be supporting all this stuff in GravityView. So don't worry about that. They've also got a nice little feature. I wouldn't call it a feature, but they're adding additional information about what page the form is submitted from. So they're going to be not only storing the URL of that, they're going to be storing the page ID, which can add some nice functionality from the GravityKit side, where we're going to be supporting that in GravityView and also throughout the rest of our plugins.
Yeah, totally. All right, so let's get to some GravityKit stuff. The first thing I wanted to highlight was a new feature we added to GravityView, actually. This is quite a simple thing, but it's something that's been requested quite a bit, and it's quite nice to have. And that is the ability to update the entry creator from the edit entry screen in Gravity Forms. So I'll quickly show how that works here. As you can see, I'm on the entry screen now, and I can go in to view one of these entries. And then let's go ahead and edit it. Always takes a little while when we're live. And then here on the right, I'll zoom in a bit. You can see there's a drop-down field to change the entry creator. So I can open that and change it, for example, here to Maurice, or I could change it to Vlad, change it to Maurice, and then update the entry.
Yeah, and we've had this functionality in the backend side of things for GravityView, but we've also recently added the ability to configure this in GravityView's edit entry screen. And previously that wasn't possible.
Right, yeah. So that gives you a nice way to kind of update the entry creator when you need to, whether it's from the front end or in the Gravity Forms edit entry page.
Yeah, and that's something that customers have been asking for a long time, and honestly, we should have added years ago. So thank you. Whenever there's something you want, please let us know, and we will take note. We are always wanting to know what you need from the plugin suite, and we listen to your feedback and take it very seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
And Adam writes, I have several use cases where that feature will be really useful. Thank you. Well, thank you, Adam. I also want to share, Adam shared something earlier which says, GravityKit's an essential part of empowering my nonprofit operations. That's awesome. And Vicky says, GravityView pretty much transformed my organization's relationship with the GravityView suite. Our use cases exploded. That's so freaking cool. And Noah is awesome, and Noah affiliates are also awesome.
Yeah, really.
I'm a huge weather nerd. Casey, are you a weather nerd?
Not so much.
Okay, well, I have a weather station. I keep track of all sorts of things like rainfall and atmospheric pressure, and so I'm big NOAA advocate.
Cool. All right. So the next update was to GravityEdit. This is an add-on of ours that allows you to edit Gravity Forms entries inline, so you can really speed up the editing process. And we recently just added support for our free Gravity Forms entry tags add-on. If you're not familiar with entry tags, it allows you to add tags to an entry that look like this. They're also searchable by just clicking on them. And yeah, they're just an easy way to kind of group entries by a certain topic, if you will. There's lots of use cases for those. But now you can edit these using GravityEdit. So I'll just quickly show what that looks like. If I go to the form settings, I'll just have to enable inline editing on the form. And it's worth noting that entry tags has been really popular, hasn't it, Zack?
Yeah, it really has been. And it was something that I always wanted whenever using Gravity Forms. I wanted to be able to quickly categorize stuff. Like, it's in every CRM, the ability to tag entries and tag contacts, for example. And I kept on feeling like it was something that was missing from the Gravity ecosystem. And our users agree. It's really popular. It's free, and it transforms functionality. Like it makes it so powerful to just quickly navigate your entries.
Yeah, it
So I
really
saw
does.
that you just enabled inline editing for this form.
Yeah, so I just enabled inline editing, and I've got this button here, toggle inline edit. So I can click that, and all of these fields become editable without even needing to click into the entry. So I can just click on the tags field here. This is what it looks like. And here are the tags that I've already added. I can go ahead and add another one here. I can remove a tag, or I can just add a new tag by just typing one in here. So let's say like already. Just add it there by clicking enter and then update. And that'll take a second or two, and then there we go. The tags have been updated. So this is a nice addition here. You can edit file upload fields inline. You can edit pretty much any field, including meta fields, and it just saves a lot of time.
It does. And one of the most important features for me, I know when I'm adding a tag, I want to make sure that it's nice looking. It's annoying when you add a tag and it happens to be mustard. You can go in there into the form editor and change the choice colors after the tag has been created. So that's a nice thing you can do as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. I can show that quickly.
Ken says, this is a great addition. I had a view using it, but without inline edit, it was clunky. Vicky agrees. Getting ready to rebuild a scheduling system for one of our projects. We'll probably make use of this. And Ken says, I'll revisit it now that you have inline edit. That's awesome.
Great. Yeah, that's something we really work hard on, is making sure all our add-ons really integrate nicely. So that's great to hear. And yeah, like Zach was talking about, this is the tags field in the form editor. And if you open the field and then edit the choices, you can see there's a color associated with each tag, and then you can just click on the color and it opens a nice color picker here and you can change it. So yeah, that's a really nice little feature.
And I guess it was more gold than mustard. I take it back.
Right.
Yeah, so that's entry tags, one of our popular free add-ons. Check that out. It's on our website. And
Yeah.
another feature we've been working hard on, y'all who have used any geocoding functionality may know that we have multiple different geocoding options available to us in the Gravity space. We have Gravity Forms has their geocoding add-on that allows you to geocode directly from the address field. So does GravityWiz. They have a geocoding functionality. So do we. In Maps for GravityView, you can enable geocoding, and that all uses similar data. And until now, it was a problem because it created three different types of data, and the Maps add-on or the Maps layout that we have didn't necessarily know what to do with that. So we could only show it from one place at a time. But we've been working really hard. When I say really hard, this was a 2-month thing. There's a lot of engineering in the background. We've been a lot of bug fixing, a lot of we worked hard to get this right, and it is right finally. And I'm excited because it solves a common issue where different sources of data weren't collaborating, but now they are collaborating. A new maps layout update solves this problem. And Casey, I'd love to have you show what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. So like Zach was saying, this is our maps layout for Gravity Forms or for GravityView. It allows you to show your Gravity Forms entries as a marker on a Google map. And to do that, we have to geocode the addresses. And like Zach was saying, there's other plugins in the space that do that too. So you get some, or we had some sort of conflicts before, but we've solved that now. You have the ability in the maps settings to choose the geocoding source. So if you have another plugin installed on your site that's geocoding Gravity Forms data, like the GravityWiz solution, for example, or Gravity Forms have their own solution, then you can actually just go to the map settings, and there's a nice drop down here, and you can select which geocoding source you want to use for that.
And what that will do when you change the source, it will show a little notice that allows you to migrate data from one source to another source. So if you started with GravityWiz, but you realize that GravityKit has it built in, or you started with GravityKit and GravityWiz and you realize GravityForms has it built in, you can click a button and it'll move it all to the correct place, and Maps will use that functionality moving forward. So it's not a permanent choice. It's not a destructive act. You can use whatever data source works best for your needs.
Right, yeah, and if you want to find out more about how geocoding works in Maps, we have this nice doc here on our doc site about GravityView Maps geocoding, and that'll give you all the information you need to know, including the new feature that we just highlighted.
Yeah. And Vicky says, I'd love to use this, but I can't use Google Maps. We make a lot of use of leaflet.js. Yes, we are well aware, unfortunately, that Google doesn't work for anyone, for everyone. And it's a huge lift, unfortunately, to migrate away from Google Maps. We've been trying to do this in parts where we have the ability to add different mapping support, but it's a big process. So hopefully we can get that working for you soon, Vicky. And
yeah, totally.
Casey, Ken asks, can the search option be used to search data in a nested form? I guess I'm kind of bumping up the live Q&A part. Sorry about that. So Ken asks if we can search nested form entries, and I don't remember the answer to this. Do you know the answer?
That's a good question. That's something we might have to check. I know we did
this is
a lot of
something
work on adding support for nested form entries in GravityView.
Yeah, I believe you can search the meta value, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's very helpful. Like you might need to know the parent ID, for example. And Ken, yes, please do open a support ticket on it. We have had other requests for this, and we are currently reworking the search bar. So now is a good time because we're going to be adding some additional functionality there.
Yeah, great point. Cool.
And in terms of searching entry meta and connecting different sources of data and doing really cool CRM type functionality, Casey, I believe we have a demo to show that shows off some of the powerful stuff you can do with GravityKit.
Yes, we do. If I can open it. All right, yeah. So I wanted to highlight this because I've been using this more and more in some of the tutorials that I've been writing, and I think it's a really powerful feature. And essentially, the idea here, I'll go through it sort of a simple example, but you can really apply this to anything, really. But here's my kind of simple example. I have an issue tracker here, and users have, or members of the development team maybe have submitted bug reports for issues in a piece of software, for example. And I'm using the tags, entry tags here to tag those issues. And then I can click into an issue here, and I can see kind of more information about that issue. But I might have a need to add some data here. Like, for example, if I'm receiving support tickets from users that are having the same issue, I might want to add links to those tickets right here in the entry so that we can go ahead and see what kind of issues the users are having and get more information to solve the issue, right? And one way we can do that is we can use a separate Gravity form to include links to those support tickets. And then we can actually create a view for that form and then embed that view into the single entry page here on the issue tracker view, and then have those entries linked to the parent entry. So it's kind of like a parent-child relationship, and we actually have a meta field in GravityView to do this. And this is a really cool thing. And I'm going to go through an example here and show you how you would set this up. And if it sounds a little bit confusing now, just wait till the end of the example, then you'll be able to see exactly what it looks like. And I can guarantee you'll see exactly how this works and why it's so powerful. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go to my dashboard here, and I'm going to create a brand new form. And it's going to be a really simple form. I'm just going to have like a ticket ID field and a date field. So let me go ahead and add a name here, relevant tickets. And that'll take me into the Gravity Forms editor, so I can quickly build this form. So let's go ahead and add a simple date field. There we go. Whoop. And I'll add a, there we go, date dropdown. Cool, and then I'm going to add a number field for the ticket ID. So we've got date, and change this to ticket ID. There we go. Let me go ahead and save the form. All right, so that's a really simple form just to add support tickets. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new view so we can visualize that data. And then I'm going to link it all together. So bear with me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create a simple table view here. Tickets. There's annoying notices showing up. And we'll use the simple table layout. Things are always a little bit slow when I'm sharing my screen here. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, we don't need the search functionality, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these widgets at the top. And then I've got these fields pre-added, which is fantastic. We don't need a link to the single entry, so I'm going to unlink that. And what I'm going to do here, instead of just having the ticket ID, I'm going to actually create a dynamic link here using a custom content field. So if I add the custom content field in here, that should add any second now. Oh, maybe I didn't click it. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me open the custom content field. I'm going to add a simple HTML link. And let's say, for example, the link to my support site is like GravityKit.com / and then support and then / the ticket ID. So I can go ahead and use the merge tag. Oh, let me go ahead and save the view quickly so I can have access to that merge tag. So let me just go ahead and publish real quick, and then I'll show you exactly how that works. All right, so we are getting there. Things are always slow when you don't want them to be slow.
It's true. And things sometimes move too quickly when you want to savor them.
Yeah, such is life, huh? All right, finally. Okay, so let me continue here. I'm setting up this custom link, and I'm going to add the ticket ID there. So this is just an example. Let me finish that off. And then for the link text, I'm going to add the ticket ID again. So we're going to create basically just a simple anchor link. And then let's give that a label, ticket ID. And we'll call this one date submitted, or you know what, date received. Okay, so that's it for our very simple view. And then we're going to ensure that entries do not need to be approved by unchecking that. And then I'll update the view. So as you can see, it's a very simple form and a very simple view. But that's just going to allow us to collect relevant support tickets that might have a connection to or might be relevant to a certain issue. So that has been created. So now I can go back to my issue tracker view, the first one that I showed you. And here I am in the view editor. And I'm on the single entry screen here. And if I add a field, in GravityView, you have the ability to embed forms and views into other views. So I'm going to start with a form. So I'll just search for form and click on Gravity Forms. And this is going to add a Gravity Forms field here in the single entry. Just give it a second.
This never takes this long when
things
you're
are
not
never
live
like
streaming.
this. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It could be the server that I'm using. This demo site is quite bulky and yeah, anyway. So we've got our Gravity Forms field added here, and I can open the field settings to select a form. I'm going to go ahead and choose, I've got a lot of forms here, but I'm going to go ahead and select the relevant tickets form that I just created. There we go. And I don't need to show the form title or the description. And we can use Ajax. Okay, cool. So that's set up. And now I want to actually show those tickets. So what I can do is I can add a view. So I'll just search for view, and there's a GravityView view field that I can go ahead and add to the editor. There we go. And if I open the field settings, I can select the view to embed. So again, it's going to be relative tickets. I believe it's this one.
And there's a drop down that we can't see because of the live stream. There's a drop down that appears.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I open that drop down, you don't see it on the screen share, unfortunately. But anyway, I've chosen the view that I need. And then I can come down here. Now, this is the very important part. If I come down to the advanced settings, what I need to do is add a filtering condition here so I can associate submitted entries with the parent entry. And the way that we do that is by using the GK underscore parent underscore entry underscore ID meta field here. And then we leave the search operator as is. And then here we're going to use the entry ID merge tag. There we go. So that's ensuring that the parent ID of the submitted entry is the same as the submitted entries ID.
And this is how to do it. Sorry, Casey. This is how to do it without the advanced filtering add-on, the extension that we have. You can also use the advanced filtering extension to do this in the view editor using a UI, like a user interface, instead of doing it using the search field and search value. But you can set that up multiple ways.
Right. This is a really neat way to do it. So I've got that set up now. So I'm going to go ahead and update my view. And then we'll take a look at that on the front end. Let that update. It'll take a second, like everything is today, unfortunately. Okay, so let me go ahead and refresh the page. Okay, so here we have the form that we added for adding relevant tickets. And then here we have the Gravity view. So no entries at the moment. But if I submit the form here, so let me go ahead and fill it out. August 27. And I'll add an ID here. And then submit the form. So I've submitted that entry. And then all I need to do in this case is just refresh the page, and we can see that that ticket has been added here in the view. And that is an anchor link that we can click to be taken through to that ticket. So this is a really neat way to associate entries from a form to a parent entry in GravityView. And another really cool thing that you can do if you don't want to have to refresh the page is you can actually use the data table's auto update feature. And that'll update every so often to show new entries. And the way that you can do that is just by going back to the second view that we created here, relevant tickets, and changing the view type to data tables table. And then let's go ahead and update. And then, yeah, if you didn't know, data tables has a special feature called auto update. You can set an increment in minutes, and the table will automatically refresh its data depending on the time frame that you set, without needing to update the page. Okay, so we've changed the layout. We can come down here to the data table settings, and I'm going to remove the buttons for now. But here at the bottom is the enable auto update checkbox, so I can check that. And then I need to add an interval in minutes. In this case, I want it to be quite quick, so I'm going to say 0.3 minutes. That'll be about 20 seconds. And then let's go ahead and update that again. And then we'll go back to the main view and see how that changes things.
As a developer, I always get nervous when I see international uses of commas instead of decibels. I hope this works.
Well, it should work. I've played around with this quite a bit.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and refresh the page again. Give it a couple seconds.
And I hope that while you're watching this, you get a sense for that this could be used for all sorts of use cases, not just tickets and stuff. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the table is here. And let me go ahead and add a new entry to this form. And add a new ticket ID here. Submit. So that'll submit the entry, and then data tables should automatically retrieve that data without the need for a page refresh. And that'll happen every 20 seconds or so. There we go. We can see loading data. Give it a second, and there we go. So the new entry has been loaded straight in there.
Nice. And, you know, a lot of people have like orders coming in through Gravity forms that they display for GravityView, or student registration or event registration, and that really could benefit from live updates of this data. So this is an awesome demonstration of how you can build real applications using GravityView and Gravity forms.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, those entries, because they were submitted here on this single entry page, they're only associated to this particular issue. And it's just a really neat way to kind of connect things up and build more complex applications. I wrote a tutorial recently for our blog where I was trying to see if I could create like a company database, and I try to use Crunchbase as a source of inspiration. And what they do is they have a database of companies, and then they have a database of people and a database of funding information. And then they connect people and funding information to the companies. So I built the same thing with GravityView. I just had a company database, and then I had separate forms for people and for funding rounds. And then I connected those up with the main form for companies. So you could go to a company's profile and then see all the funding data and all the people that were employed at the company.
That's
so that's
cool.
a really neat example. Yeah.
Yeah. And GravityView really is limited only by your imagination in terms of what you can accomplish. And yeah, Casey, you do an incredible job demonstrating all this stuff. So check out our blog if you haven't checked out the GravityKit blog. And also check out our academy.gravitykit.com. We have some good courses that also go into depth for how to do some of this advanced, well, medium to advanced stuff with GravityKit products, not just with GravityView as well. Cool. Well, thanks, Casey. That was a great demo.
Sure, yeah.
It always makes me want to build things. Like, I just want to build more stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So please, I agree, Ken. The Casey studies, Ken knows what's up. They're not case studies, they're Casey studies. File of, I don't know, Casey, who do we need to get approval from to make this official?
I think it's you.
Okay, well, I'm granting access to the Casey studies categorization. Let's make it real.
Yeah, we had a great one. Maybe Ken's referring to the recent one on our blog. We have a customer works at a web agency, and they're building application management systems for financial institutions. And they have an organization with 25,000 registered users using this system. Quite incredible.
It's wild, yeah. Okay. Well, we got approval from Ken, so we're golden.
Perfect.
So if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Please let us know. Casey and I would love to answer any questions. And you can always ask questions to support@gravitykit.com. We would much prefer you ask a question to you wondering silently and then giving up. Please don't give up. Please don't wonder silently and not ask the question. We want to make sure that any of your questions that we answer and that we have good documentation to answer them as well, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. We did get a couple of questions that were submitted ahead of time. So let me go ahead. Let me see here. We had one comment from Judy, who said, I use Gravity Forms all the time, and I use Gravity Views. I'm excited to learn more about other products. Well, that's great. There's a number of ways you can do that. You can always go to our website. We have all of our product information there, gravitykit.com/products. You can also try out all of our products for free by just signing up for your own demo site. It takes like 5 seconds. You just need to go to site.try.gravitykit.com and click the big button there. It'll load up a demo site for you to play around on. All of our products are pre-installed, and you have access to all features. So you can try out everything. And yeah, we encourage everyone to do that.
Yeah, if you gather the data with Gravity Forms, we take care of manipulating the data, like editing, exporting, importing, charting, like bulk editing. Like we're the after submission team, and our free add-ons enhance the submission process by doing like entry tags and event fields.
Yeah, if you're doing a lot of data management stuff, check out GravityKit, because yeah, we have all the solutions for that kind of stuff.
And we have another question. Is it possible to trigger a Gravity Forms feed after editing an entry in GravityView?
Yeah, the answer is yes. We have a really helpful doc on our doc site. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. It is called GravityView, How to Trigger Feeds After Editing an Entry. And you can see here, it requires a little bit of custom code. So you can add this in GravityView, depending on exactly what you want to do. For example, there's a snippet here for triggering all feeds for a specific form. Here's one if you're using the Zapier add-on, and there's one for the webhooks add-on and the Slack add-on. So yeah, in short, this is possible. We have the code available here on our doc site. And if there's any other details you need, you can always ask our support, and they will point you in the right direction.
Great. And Vicky says, we do that now. It works great.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Do we have any other questions that have come in? I don't see any.
I'm looking.
Nope.
I
All
don't
right,
believe
y'all.
so.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for tuning in and good to see y'all. And please join us next time. Next time, boy, you might want to bring a seatbelt to strap in because we've got a lot to demonstrate next call. And hope to see everybody at WordCamp US. And come say hi. I'm me. And I've been me. And Casey?
Well, I wanted to quickly say, if you want to sign up for future lives, please go to gravitykit.com/live. We always have all the information there. And like Zach said, we have some super exciting announcements coming up. So you're definitely going to want to tune in to the next one in September.
And Ken is very sweet and says that we did a good job. So thank you, Ken. It's always a pleasure seeing y'all who watch live, and hopefully when you watch the replay, you'll learn a little more too. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Casey. And see y'all next time.